But that's always the advice you give to new people when they're starting to use Reaper. Is just right click everything, and it's got a extremely context sensitive menu set. So when you right click, you'll bring up a menu that matters to the part you're at. So if you're like around the record button or something and you right click, you're going to get different stuff than in other places. And it should intuitively, I know how much we hate that word, but if you really think about where you are, it should point you in the right direction just to start right clicking stuff. And really, this was kind of like a philosophy switch between Apple and Windows, right? One second, let me turn off the AC. One company pretty much had a mouse with at least two buttons, and the other one had one button, right? So you had two totally different ways of working. And, a lot of you guys know that a lot of, at least especially early Reaper, owes a lot to Vegas. And Vegas had some tremendously intuitive speed menus like this. So, of course, right-click everything. So it looks like, let me just read a couple of these things that changelog here. It says MIDI hardware, add per output device setting to disable MIDI reset messages. Interesting. Fix persistence of preference to reset MIDI pitch CC on playback stop. There's actually a lot of preferences in Reaper that would be really nice to store and be able to put someplace else, stash for other things, share with other people and stuff. I would like the hardware profiles to be more savable. I think there might have been something recently where they did, though, so I don't really want to talk for sure that you can't do that yet. So some fixes for the themes, some bug fixes. So there's something on ARA. So that's audio random access for you guys. Something Melodyne, I think, came up with, and it allows you to use things like Melodyne without needing to record the audio into it or do a transfer function. It's kind of its own thing. It's pretty neat. Treats your item edits as an item itself, sort of. Anyway, preserve ARA plugin state when moving tracks or items to sub-project. Neat. So if you don't know, inside Reaper, you can open up multiple Reaper copies instances. Actually, if you follow Simon Larkin's channel, you'll see how to open completely separate instances of Reaper and not just new project tabs. But anyway, you can copy. Looks like you can copy the ARA data between the projects, that's had to be tricky. Good, cool. Let's see, configuration, export fixes, envelopes. Fix the line clipping bug in JSFX. How to enable locking, master meter, some little fixes. Yep, fix. Okay, cool. In Reverb, slight performance improvement in low latency mode with smaller max FFT sizes. I need to one day, I keep asking and I never get really good answers. What exactly does that FFT size set for you? I mean, is this the same thing as like when you're doing an impulse load in a cabinet simulator and you use a 128 instead of a 256 or whatever, the really short ones. But I have a feeling that that reverb fix may have something to do with something else that was going on this week and actually for a while. But anyway, Reaper 6.41's there. Go grab it. And like it says, if you haven't before, right-click everything. And just keep right-clicking. You can right-click your way through Reaper easily. So, of course, we had a couple shows about how useless Google is anymore and how lame it is when you go to a bunch of experts and they say, hey, have you ever heard of Google? Or Google is your friend. Or let me Google that for you. we go to see these experts because we want some expert answers, you know. You know full well they've already Googled the answer. Like, okay, and never mind that we've shown a couple times on this show, you know, just using your simple basic search commands the exact way you're supposed to do it, that Google has become so obfuscated that it's not going to get you good answers on nearly anything. I mean, it's gotten so bad. And just the amount of Dunning-Kruger that it takes to say something like that, you know. I mean, you know, in the early days, sure, it was fine. It was hard to find information and people wouldn't even bother. They're like, hey, what's my guitar supposed to be tuned to? Like, hey, dude, look it up, you know, whatever. But, I mean, you still got a chance to learn by talking and stuff, or new people can help out. So, I don't know, this whole Google thing is lame. But anyway, it doesn't do you any good anymore anyway, because it just doesn't work. And, of course, in this case, so somebody let me Google that for me, but they did it in the form of, you'll find YouTube is your friend. Like, oh man, really? And of course, the example that they gave turned out to have nothing to do with my question. And so I respecified it. So you know, Dunning-Kruger's, you know, when you're in an argument with an honest person, they go, oh, shoot. Yeah, no, you know what? Either, you know, maybe I didn't read your question well, or I thought this had, or whatever. I'm sorry about that. When you're a Dunning-Kruger, you need to double down and say, no, I'm still right because I think I'm smart and I have no idea of how dumb I am. So it just kills me because remember how much just noob damage is done with let me Google that for you. You know, there's so much information now, you know, I mean, it's really, it's almost a dangerous amount of knowledge, you know. I mean, you don't just hand somebody a bunch of nitroglycerin and gunpowder and a lighter and just tell them to go figure it out, you know. But Google, I mean, you don't know who's typing your stuff. So unless you have a good grasp of basic logical fallacies and probably like Carl Sagan's baloney detection kit, you know, just Googling stuff is not going to get you any good. Just Googling stuff is how you end up with that lady that's spraying water on her vegetable garden so that, you know, because plants need water, and then she sees a rainbow in it because that's how water and sunlight work, and start saying it's the government putting fluoride, you know, chemtrails into our water and all this. I mean, you know, this is that's what it is. Anyway, okay. Yeah, but that's who you're getting information on Google, and that's what you get. If you just trust Google and you don't really have a way to determine whether or not the things you're reading are true, you just you know, you end up like that. You end up like with the crazy rainbow water sprinkler lady. Okay. So, like I alluded to, Justin over at Reaper, you know, Kako's Justin Frankel, he really helped us out this week on our reverb we were talking about last week, our AIX DSP iconic reverb. We were having a problem with something that was causing a little bit of a delay in one part of the signal, and Justin, I guess, had the answer for Dave. So thank you so much, Justin. That was a scary one. And you know, you read a lot lately about people changing to new types of practice. Like they have these, like, I forget what the device is, but it's like a big round boxy thing, and you all plug your headphones and guitars and stuff into it, and you practice that way. Pretty smart. I mean, you know, there's too many people. There's not enough room. Nobody can afford any space, so we're having to learn quieter ways of practicing. But there's still a lot of bands that practice the traditional way, and they're always asking about, you know, how can we make this more effective? You know, and I say, you know, and this is something all the kids around here will tell you, man. This is this actually was going to be the title. This Pipeline Audio's law of rehearsal, and this is what it is. When you're talking about bands practicing and stuff, and of course there's exceptions, hashtag not all, whatever, but in general, the productivity of a rehearsal is inversely proportional to the volume of that rehearsal. And I'm serious, man. Like when it's so loud that nobody can talk to each other, or somebody's just blasting the, oops, sorry, let me just knock that out. Somebody's blasting the, actually, sorry, hold on 1 second. Hello? Oh, okay, I'll be right there. Right. Okay, the guys showed up early for the installing a washer and dryer. Oh no. Okay, I could either finish this up later. Yeah, you know what? I have a ton more to get to on today. Shoot. But I think that's going to have to wait till next week. I really got to talk about this practice thing. I'm sorry, guys, but I've got to. Absolutely got to go. Sorry about that. I will try and edit it up later.